We live in a world that often pushes us to focus on what we lack. We constantly compare ourselves to others, yearn for what we don't have, and worry about what could go wrong. In this whirlwind of dissatisfaction, anxiety becomes a constant companion. But what if I told you there's a simple, powerful practice that can transform your perspective and lighten the burden of worry? That practice is gratitude. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the noise of your own thoughts or trapped in the insatiable pursuit of something more, this message is for you. Gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a conscious practice that, when cultivated, can rewire your brain, reduce stress, and open you up to a life of greater peace and well-being. Through this video, we'll explore how a shift in your focus, from scarcity to appreciation, can make a profound difference in your daily well-being. Stay until the end and discover how gratitude can be your anchor in the sea of modern life. Anxiety and the cycle of dissatisfaction. Modern anxiety often thrives in a silent war within us, a relentless cycle of dissatisfaction, driven by a world that constantly whispers, "You are not enough." Every scroll through social media bombards us with carefully curated snapshots of other people's lives, flawless bodies, perfect relationships, luxurious lifestyles, endless accomplishments. We're shown not reality, but an illusion, a highlight reel devoid of the struggles, messiness, and ordinary beauty of life. This persistent exposure shapes our perception, instilling in us a dangerous belief that happiness lies somewhere out there, always just a little further than where we are now. And so begins the cycle. We chase more success, more validation, more possessions, more perfection. But no matter how much we acquire or achieve, the feeling of fulfillment remains elusive. The bar keeps moving. Each milestone reached reveals another gap. We become caught in what some call a scarcity mindset, a psychological state in which our attention is constantly drawn to what is missing, what is wrong, what is lacking. And it is this mindset that becomes fertile ground for chronic anxiety. The inner landscape of our mind turns noisy, restless, and chaotic. Thoughts race in loops. Am I doing enough? What if I'm falling behind? Why can't I be more like them? We obsess over mistakes we've made, regrets we carry, and futures we haven't yet shaped. The present moment, our only true home, is drowned out by the echo of these doubts and projections. This form of anxiety isn't just abstract. It lives in the body. It steals our sleep, clenches our muscles, disturbs our digestion, fogs our focus, and shortens our breath. It leads to burnout masked as ambition, emotional numbness mistaken for resilience, and a fatigue so deep that no amount of rest seems to fix it. We are constantly on, hypervigilant, waiting for the next shoe to drop. But beneath all this lies something even more primal, the fear of loss. We grip tightly to our jobs, our relationships, our youth, our identity, our comfort zones. We cling not just to what we have, but to the idea of how things should be. The mere thought of impermanence terrifies us, and yet change is the nature of all things. In resisting it, we create a permanent tension within ourselves, a kind of emotional armor that weighs heavily on our nervous system. What we fail to see is that the true cause of our anxiety is not the world itself, but our relationship to it. It is our resistance, our attachment, our endless striving that traps us. Like running on a treadmill, we exert enormous energy just to stay in place. There is movement, but no arrival. Progress, but no peace. To break this cycle, we must return to the present. We must learn to pause, to breathe, to observe the mind without identifying with every thought it throws our way. We must practice gratitude, not as a hollow affirmation, but as a radical act of embracing what is. We must allow ourselves to feel enough, even as we grow. And perhaps most of all, we must confront impermanence not as an enemy, but as a teacher, showing us what truly matters and what we must release to find peace. Because maybe, just maybe, the way out of anxiety is not forward, but inward. Gratitude as an antidote, transforming your perspective. Against this relentless backdrop of inner noise and societal pressure, gratitude emerges not as sentimentality, but as a radical act of defiance, a powerful antidote to the culture of not enough. It does not demand that we ignore our struggles or suppress our pain. Rather, gratitude invites us to see through them, to remember that even within difficulty, something remains, some spark of beauty, some trace of support, some quiet blessing that, if noticed, can anchor us back to the here and now. Gratitude is not about pretending that life is perfect. It's about learning to see what is, clearly, consciously, and with humility. It is a deliberate act, a discipline of the heart and mind that redirects our attention from the endless pursuit of what we lack to the richness of what is already present. In a world that teaches us to fixate on gaps, on flaws, on future goals and past mistakes, gratitude teaches us to stop and say, "This is enough, and so am I." One of the deepest truths behind gratitude is simple yet profound. What you appreciate expands. This isn't just a poetic idea. It's backed by neuroscience. Studies have shown that regularly practicing gratitude can change the structure of the brain. It strengthens neural pathways related to joy, empathy, and resilience. Over time, the more we train ourselves to see what is good and working in our lives, the more our brains begin to notice those things naturally, without effort. Gratitude becomes a lens through which the world becomes a little gentler, a little brighter. But we must begin small. Consider the quiet ritual of your morning coffee. Instead of gulping it down in the rush to get somewhere, pause. Wrap your hands around the warm cup. Inhale the scent. Feel the gentle heat on your palms. Let that moment be enough. That simple act of presence is a form of gratitude. Or think of the friend who checks in, the stranger who smiles at you, the roof over your head, the ability to breathe without effort. These are not insignificant things. They are the scaffolding of a good life, one we often overlook in our search for something more impressive, more dramatic, more worthy of celebration. Gratitude reminds us that nothing is too small to matter. Gratitude also shifts us from a scarcity mindset to a mindset of abundance. When we're focused only on what we don't have, we live in fear, comparison, and grasping. But when we begin to see what we do have, our strengths, our connections, our daily comforts, we start to realize that life has already given us much to work with. And from that recognition, a deep sense of peace can arise, a stillness, a knowing that we are already whole, even if our life isn't yet complete in the way we once imagined. This doesn't mean we stop growing, it doesn't mean we stop striving for better, but it means we stop hating where we are, we stop overlooking the gifts in front of us, and we start to live with open eyes and an open heart. Gratitude is a quiet revolution. In a world shouting for more, it whispers, "Look again, you already have so much." It returns us to the present, to the body, to the breath. And perhaps most importantly, it teaches us that the foundation of well-being is not built on achievement but on appreciation. Let your gratitude be a practice, not something reserved for rare moments of joy, but a daily habit of seeing with new eyes. Because when you truly learn to appreciate life, life begins to appreciate you back. If this message resonates with you, and you're seeking more moments of peace and insight, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for daily reflections rooted in ancient wisdom and modern clarity. Practical ways to cultivate gratitude and reduce anxiety. Integrating gratitude into daily life doesn't require grand gestures, spiritual retreats, or hours of free time. What it asks for is presence, intention, a willingness to pause, even briefly, and choose to see life not only as it is, but also for what it offers. In the midst of our routines and responsibilities, these small acts of appreciation become quiet portals to peace. When practiced consistently, they become more than habits, they become anchors. Here are a few gentle yet powerful ways to bring gratitude into your everyday life. First, keep a gratitude journal. This is a simple, powerful practice that rewires the brain to notice the good. At the end of each day, or at the start of a new one, take a few quiet moments to write down 3 to 5 things you're grateful for. They don't need to be dramatic or life-changing. In fact, the more ordinary, the better. Perhaps it was the warmth of the sun on your face during your walk, the taste of your favorite tea, the laughter of someone you love, a moment of stillness between tasks. Over time, your mind will begin to seek these moments automatically. You'll start to notice beauty and blessings in places you once overlooked. And in doing so, your inner world shifts from stress to serenity, from lack to abundance. Second, express your appreciation out loud. Gratitude deepens when it's shared. Make it a quiet mission to thank someone every day, genuinely, sincerely, and without expectation. It might be a loved one, a friend, a co-worker, or a stranger who held the door for you. When you speak your appreciation, you're not only uplifting others, you're reinforcing connection, warmth, and presence. These small moments of acknowledgement ripple outward. They build trust, they soften tension, and they remind us that kindness, when given or received, is never wasted. Third, practice mindful moments of gratitude. Gratitude can be woven into the simplest parts of your day. You don't need a special place or time, just a moment of awareness. When you're eating, taste your food slowly and thank the chain of life that brought it to your plate. When you're walking, notice the strength of your legs, the rhythm of your breath. When stuck in traffic, instead of spiraling into frustration, appreciate the music playing, the shelter of your car, or the fact that you have somewhere to go. These are micro moments of gratitude, short, intentional pauses that gently interrupt anxious thought patterns and bring you back to the now. In these pauses, peace begins to grow. Fourth, try a gratitude meditation. Gratitude isn't just an idea, it's a feeling, a sensation in the body, a softening in the heart. And meditation is one of the most direct ways to awaken it. Even 5 to 10 minutes of a guided gratitude meditation can open a space within you, a stillness where appreciation can arise without effort. You might be guided to recall someone who's helped you, a moment of safety, a personal strength you once relied on. In these moments, gratitude becomes not something you do but something you feel, a quiet warmth that spreads through the body, calming the nervous system and anchoring you in the fullness of the present. Fifth, shift your inner dialogue. Language has power, not just the words we speak aloud, but the words we repeat to ourselves in silence. Begin to notice your internal monologue. Where do you complain? Where do you focus on lack? Where do you repeat stories of frustration or fear? The next time you catch yourself thinking, ugh, another thing to deal with, try shifting the lens. I'm grateful I have the skills to handle this. This challenge is helping me grow. I'm grateful to be trusted with responsibility. This isn't about toxic positivity. It's not about pretending everything is okay. It's about choosing to see the whole picture. It's about recognizing that even within hardship, there can be insight, connection, and grace. The illusion of control and the pain of resistance. Modern life often instills in us the belief that with enough effort, planning, and vigilance, we can control every outcome. We build elaborate mental models of how things should be, how people should act, and how our lives should unfold. Social media amplifies this illusion, presenting curated narratives of perfect lives where everything is seemingly under control. But reality, by its very nature, is unpredictable and constantly shifting. When our meticulously crafted plans inevitably diverge from reality, we experience disappointment, frustration, and anxiety. This isn't because the external circumstances are inherently bad, but because we are resisting their impermanent nature. We fight against what is, desperately trying to force things back into our preconceived notions. This internal struggle is exhausting. It's like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips away, leaving you with a feeling of loss and inadequacy. This resistance manifests in various forms of anxiety, worry about the future. We try to predict and control what hasn't happened yet, leading to endless what-if scenarios. Regret about the past. We replay events, wishing we could change them, perpetuating guilt and self-blame. Frustration with others. We expect people to behave in specific ways, and when they don't, we feel let down or angry. Fear of change. We resist transitions, even positive ones, because they disrupt our sense of security. The pain comes not from the change itself, but from our attachment to outcomes and our resistance to the present moment as it is. Embracing impermanence, the path to freedom, demanding specific results to engaging fully with the process. Finding peace in the present, recognizing that the now is the only moment you truly have, and it too will pass. This doesn't mean becoming passive or indifferent. It means approaching life with flexibility and an open heart. You can still set goals and work towards them, but you do so with the understanding that the journey itself is the reward, and the ultimate outcome is beyond your absolute control. Practical steps to cultivate the art of letting go. Cultivating the art of letting go is a gradual process that requires conscious effort and compassion for yourself. Here are some practical steps. Observe your resistance. When you feel anxiety or frustration, pause and ask yourself, what am I trying to control right now? What am I resisting? Simply recognizing your resistance is the first step towards loosening its grip. Practice. Mindful acceptance. When an unwelcome thought or emotion arises, instead of fighting it, try to acknowledge it without judgment. Say to yourself, I'm feeling anxious right now, and that's okay. Allow the feeling to be there, knowing that it, like everything else, is impermanent. Focus on your sphere of influence. Differentiate between what you can control, your actions, your attitude, your effort, and what you cannot control, other people's actions, external events, the past, the future. Direct your energy towards your sphere of influence and practice letting go of the rest. Embrace small changes. Start by consciously letting go of control in minor situations. Let someone else choose the restaurant. Allow a plan to change spontaneously, or simply notice when your routine is interrupted and practice accepting it with a lighter heart. Connect with nature. Spend time observing the natural world. Witness the changing seasons, the ebb and flow of tides, the growth and decay of plants. Nature is a powerful teacher of impermanence and can help you internalize this truth. Practice non-attachment to thoughts. In meditation, observe your thoughts as clouds passing in the sky. You don't need to chase them or hold on to them. Simply notice them and let them go. This trains your mind to release its grip on mental constructs. Cultivate trust. Trust in the process of life even when you don't understand it. Trust that you have the inner resources to navigate whatever comes your way. This trust reduces the need for constant vigilance and control. The long-term impact, a calmer, more resilient you. Cultivating gratitude isn't a quick fix for anxiety. It's not a hack, a shortcut, or a magic switch that turns off the mind's turbulence, but it is something far more enduring. Gratitude is a quiet, resilient force, a practice that, when returned to again and again, builds an inner foundation strong enough to weather life's storms. It doesn't demand that you ignore your pain. It doesn't ask you to deny your fear. Gratitude simply invites you to widen the view, to notice, even in the midst of difficulty, what is still here, what is still working, what is still beautiful. And over time, if you stay with it, if you gently keep returning to this practice, you'll begin to notice subtle yet powerful changes. Reduced stress and worry. When you intentionally shift your attention from what's lacking to what's already present, you create space in the mind. A little breathing room. The anxious thoughts may still arise, but their grip begins to loosen. They no longer define your experience. You start to live less in imagined futures and more in the sacred now. Improved mood and outlook. Gratitude naturally gives rise to joy. Not always the loud, ecstatic kind, but something steadier. A warm, quiet current that runs underneath your days. When you practice noticing the good, you rewire your perception. You begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You meet life's challenges with greater compassion and courage. Stronger relationships. Something beautiful happens when you express appreciation. People feel seen, they feel valued, and in turn, you feel more connected. Gratitude deepens bonds. It dissolves resentment. It opens your heart. Whether it's a kind word to a friend, a thank you to a stranger, or silent acknowledgement of someone's presence in your life, these small gestures ripple outward in ways you may never fully know. Better sleep. A mind filled with racing thoughts rarely rests, but a mind steeped in gratitude often softens by the end of the day. Many people find that simply writing down 3 things they're thankful for before bed shifts their entire night. Gratitude quiets the mind, settles the nervous system, and prepares the body for rest, not just physically but emotionally. Increased resilience. This may be the greatest gift of gratitude. When you cultivate the ability to see what is good, even in the midst of what is hard, you become deeply resilient. You realize that while life is uncertain and pain is inevitable, you are not without resources. You've made it this far. You have survived. You are still breathing, and within you, there is a strength far greater than you may yet realize. Now let me be honest with you. There will be days when gratitude feels distant. There will be moments when fear feels louder, when the heart feels closed and the sky feels grey. But this is part of the path. And it is precisely on those days that your practice matters most. Not in the form of forced positivity, but in the form of gentle return. A soft whisper within that says, I don't have to feel grateful right now, but I can still look, I can still try, I can still open to what is. Gratitude is not about perfection. It's about attention. It's about intention. It's about being willing to see and to keep seeing even when it's difficult. So, if you've made it this far in the video, if something in these words has touched you or reminded you of something important, I invite you to take a single conscious breath right now. Breathe in deeply. Breathe out slowly. Feel your body sitting here. Feel the moment as it is. And ask yourself, what can I appreciate right now? What is here that I've been overlooking? It could be something small. A sound, a memory, a person. The simple fact that you're alive and capable of growth. Whatever arises, hold it gently in your heart. And if this message resonated with you, I invite you to support this journey by liking the video, sharing it with someone who might need these words, or subscribing to the channel for more reflections on inner peace, mindful living, and timeless wisdom. Thank you, truly, for being here, for taking this time to nourish your inner world. 4. Choosing to slow down, to breathe, and to remember the power of gratitude. The path to a calmer, steadier mind doesn't unfold all at once. It unfolds breath by breath, step by step. And you are already on that path. Until we meet again, may you walk with peace, speak with kindness, and live with the quiet confidence that even in uncertainty, gratitude can be your anchor.